Lisa Swain, Vicky Myers, has had a lot on her mind recently on Coronation Street, as the recent death of a colleague brought up a lot of feelings for her about her late wife, Becky. Becky was also a police officer, and she was killed while chasing a suspect. She was run over and killed by a getaway car in a tragic incident that has haunted Lisa ever since, as it was veiled in a certain amount of mystery. Becky had been under investigation for corruption at the time of her death, something which meant that she and Lisa had argued on the morning she died. It also meant that Becky was denied the kind of funeral that would have seen her honored by her fellow officers. There's also the possibility that her death might not have been an accident at all, but could have been a deliberate act arising from whatever she was involved in. Lisa has never been able to get answers to her many questions concerning Becky's death, as a wall of silence seems to block all her attempts to get to the truth. In upcoming episodes, she's feeling the pain of her grief even more acutely because it's the eve of her and Becky's anniversary. She skips her therapy session and goes to visit Becky's grave instead. On the anniversary itself, Carla, Allison King, and Betsy, Sidney Martin, are worried about how Lisa's coping. She insists she's fine and goes off to her therapy session. Finally, she allows herself to open up to the therapist and talk about her wife. She says that she's sure there was more to Becky's death than she was ever told and worries that it was something to do with the corruption investigation. Meanwhile, Carla has secretly been visiting Logan Radcliffe, Harry Lowbridge, in prison, trying to find out more about what happened to Becky. He and his brother Matty, Seamus McGough, were involved in the incident that led to Becky's death. After her therapy session, Lisa decides to do some digging herself, and she sneaks into her boss Costello, Down Brony's office, searching his email to see if there's any mention of Becky. She's disturbed to see something else, though, a request on the computer asking for access to Becky's file. It's from DC Kit Green, Jacob Roberts. Lisa is puzzled about why Kit would do such a thing and why he's apparently delving into Becky's background behind her back. She tells Carla that she no longer trusts Kit, and she can't work with him anymore. What is Kit up to? And will Lisa ever uncover the truth about what happened to her wife? Lisa Swain, played with emotional intensity by Vicky Myers, has become one of the most complex and quietly heartbreaking characters on Coronation Street in recent months. Having stood firm through personal loss, professional pressure, and the relentless demand of her job as a Weatherfield police officer, Lisa is now teetering on the edge of emotional collapse. The catalyst? An unexpected and deeply unsettling discovery about someone she believed she could trust. DC Kit Green. As the anniversary of her wife, Becky's death approaches, a date already loaded with pain and unanswered questions, Lisa's world is rocked by a revelation that threatens to crack open the case she's never been able to let go of. In an emotional storyline that intertwines past and present, Lisa begins to question everything and everyone, including her own instincts. This is Coronation Street at its most raw. Secrets buried, loyalties tested, and a grieving woman determined to unearth the truth, no matter the cost. To understand the gravity of what's coming, you need to understand what Lisa has endured. Years before she ever walked the cobbles of Weatherfield, Lisa's wife Becky was killed in the line of duty. A fellow police officer, Becky died tragically while chasing a suspect. She was struck by a getaway car, and while the official line called it an accident, there was always a cloud hanging over her death. A cloud thickened by the fact that Becky was under internal investigation for corruption at the time. Lisa and Becky had argued that very morning. Emotions were high. Accusations had been thrown. And then, she was gone. But the real sting came afterward. Because of the corruption probe, Becky was denied a full police honors funeral. Her memory tainted, her name left unspoken by those who once wore the badge beside her. Lisa, left grieving and silenced, buried more than just a wife that day. She buried a lifetime of unanswered questions. In recent episodes, Lisa has found herself spiraling emotionally as the death of a fellow officer in Weatherfield triggers painful memories of Becky. With the anniversary of Becky's death fast approaching, Everything Lisa has repressed for years comes surging back. On the surface, Lisa tries to keep it together. She continues working. She pretends to attend therapy. She tells her loved ones, Carla Connor, Allison King, and even the ever-watchful Betsy Swain, Sidney Martin, that she's coping. But inside, she's unraveling. Instead of going to therapy, Lisa finds herself